Well, hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Clarity. My name's Barbara Gray, and I'm here to keep you company for at least an hour. Lovely Grace is in the room with yourselves over in Brooklyn, so if you have any questions, please ask away, and she will direct them to me here through the phone. So that should be fine. And other than that, let's travel gently today, shall we? We've got some really nice stamps that we'd like to, the Royal We, that I would like to show you today, that we showcased for the first time last week on Hobby Maker on TV. And we thought we'd take another little look at them because a lot of people don't watch mainstream television. Maybe you missed it. And so I thought we'd shine another light on them. And also, let's take another look at the demos. I'd like to kind of slow it down and go from the top again because I feel I've got more time here. And that's not to say I don't love working with Hobby Maker, but I'd like to just travel a little more slowly this afternoon, if that's okay with you. So Grace, I'm hoping that the sound is good. If you could just let me know. I'm early to the party, of course. It's not 2:00. Well, it's just turned 2:00 now. So there we are. Let me just check that I've got the volume right because I didn't check it. And I don't want to be barking at you, so to speak. How are you? How are you? Yeah, sounds fun. All good, lovely sunny day here. Lovely sunny day. Grace says, good colour on me. Well, thank you very much. Teal. We were talking about turquoise and its spiritual benefits and how it shields us and protects us. It's because we were on Route 66 in New Mexico this morning, Grace, in the shack. And so, of course, Gracie's asleep in New York at that time of day. But yeah, so we're talking about turquoise. I know that over the years you've collected some beautiful turquoise jewelry as well, haven't you, Grace? Anyhow, let's just let our friends find us, and then we'll take a look at these lovely stamps and the benefits of owning said set. This is always Mini Makes Monday. Must remember that. Welcome to Mini Makes Monday, my friends. This is where we get together and we concentrate on making smaller art. Only because it's more manageable, it's quicker, it's more relaxing. At the beginning of the year, as you know, we kind of took a closer look at it all and said, things are really hotting up in the world and anxiety levels are through the roof, mine included. And it has never been more important, really, to be a crafter, to get with your hands, get out of your head and get with your hands. It works for me every single time, whether it's pottery, whether it's stamping. I even started doing some grid work, and that really helps as well. And so small bite-sized pieces of artwork really are beneficial, I think, just as almost like a little therapy. You know, a little holiday from the head. and off the back of that, we started a Facebook group, and it's called Clarity Crafts Mini Makes and ATCs. And we have, I think we're edging up on 1,200 people in that group now. So it just goes to show you that I'm not the only one who's anxious at the moment. Let's say it as it is, Barbara. And so we decided we were going to kind of tie a weekly Monday TV show to that Facebook page. So that would be the place where you can go for ideas, where you can go to hang out with like-minded people. There's also really interesting on that page, Jane Telford and Elizabeth Goldsmith, they organise what we call ATC swaps and PTC swaps. which stands for artist trading cards and parchment trading cards. So I can remember back in the day, like back in the 90s, I can remember when you went to shows, exhibitions, you know, this was back before we were all photographers and printers. We used to make our business cards, and they were like business TCs. They were like trading cards, you know. I remember meeting people when we did TV show, especially in America, in the States. The ATCs were big in the States. And I can remember doing some shows all over the place. Dallas, Fort Worth, Philadelphia, New York. We went all over. Oregon, I was up in Seattle. And we were with a particular circuit. And I always had ATCs with me, with my contact details. And that was to swap with other fellow companies. That was the way it was in those days. So this group, Clarity Crafts, Mini Makes and ATCs, there is a swap going on there. It's growing. It's really lovely. I'm part of it as well. And every month, it's either Parchment or Inky, whichever you prefer. If you sign up, but you don't have to, and you don't have to be a regular like I am, you can sign up for next month and then drop off if you're busy or if you're on holiday or if things come up. You don't have to commit forever, you see. And then what happens is Jane and Elizabeth, they team you up with somebody else, and you will get a partner. You buddy up, and then you send that person an ATC or a PTC. We seem to always send a card as well. So it's a card with an ATC or a PTC. And actually, Grace will probably be able to give you the link to, on our website, there are kind of stamps that you can stamp on the back. And what is an ATC or a PTC? It's just a piece of artwork that you've made that is 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. That is it. That's the only stipulation, really, because we also have, and Grace, I'm sure she'll put the links up for you. We also have folders, like storage folders, and they fit exactly in the storage folders. And so you can collect the ones that you're being sent every month. And if you make more than one, I mean, that's the thing in the old days when we used to do it, if you made an ATC, you'd have 1 of 8, 2 of 8, it was numbered 2nd of 8, 3rd of 8. You'd do like half a dozen or 8 of them at the same time because you were giving them out, see, as business cards. And you would actually write on the back that you'd made 8. It was a limited edition kind of thing. It's really nice. It's like a kind of a bridge to art, and it's a little baby step, but it's quite nice, and it's a real community builder. So I've really enjoyed the last few months, and Elizabeth and Jane also, they give you like some guidelines. So say, for example, it could be pink. The color pink. This is the year of the color at Clarity. So this year we've had colors. So last month I think it was pink and travel. So then you have to get your thinking cap on. Gracie says pink and blue ATC folder books are still available. There you go. And they're a great way to store your art that you get sent, or your spares, you know. Nice, very nice. And relax. Okay, so what are we doing today? Beautiful set of stamps. Let's have a look, and we'll just take a look at them. So Tina's Kiss Flower Sampler. So this is one of our samplers. We've got plenty of samplers now in the cupboard, and I know that our Tom, he loaded them all into the shop today, so they're all there for one-stop shoppers. You can see them all. So this particular stamp set is also available now as a sampler. And it comes with a little free A7 set as well. So this is, you also get, this is a little gift, a Thinking of You A7, which is also, look, they're all little stamps, beautiful for frames and what have you. So that's a freebie, that one. Being as it's our birthday month, we're trying to give away as much as we can. So that's a little gift. And then you can see here, you've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. You've got 24 fabulous little perfect pictures. And they're about 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches square. They're about 1.5 inches by 1.5 by 1.5 inches square. So if we take a look at the actual line art, you can see what's really cool about these is that they're like finished little pieces. So you've got the words and the flowers and the frame all in one, really easy to position, to cut out, etc. What I want to do is take a look at the front cover, because Jazz really does a fantastic job of giving you ideas for the front. Let's just take a look at these as well. So here we go. These are actual size. Okay. So you can see here. Yep, these are actual size. So you can see what they're going to look like. And they're just ideas for how to colour them in. But here we go. Thanks, with love. So you can see exactly happy today to you, sending love your way. So these are all designs from Tina that we've modified into a sampler, a big A4 sampler with 24 stamps. What that does is really, it gives you 24 designs in little bite-sized pieces. That's lovely, isn't it? Hope you feel better soon. You see, we're pretty much covering all bases here. And those 24 designs, they're a great price. So let's take a look at the price here. You can see here the product code is 12192, and you save £7.50 because, so it's £29.98, but that's because you get this for free, you see. So that's £29.98 for all those lovely stamps, and that doesn't include your discount. So once you could take 10%, 12.5%, 15% club discount from there as well, and so that's pretty cool. Now I wanted to show you where these stamps actually originated from, because when I show you some of the samples from the design team, you'll notice that they've doubled up. So they've mixed up the small stamps with the large stamps. It works really lovely. Now what we're doing is we're injecting 24 tiny tiles into an existing collection of Tina's. Really neat, really neat. Now let's take a look at the original stamps, and you'll see. So these were the original ones, and they were they still are. They're still available, very available. There are 10 A6 stamp sets. A6. So for example, if I just pull this one out of the folder, let's just take a look at this one here, and then I won't show you all of them, but I'll show you what the gig is. See, so this is my one. Obviously I've well loved, but you can see here much bigger stamps. If I compare this now with the stamp, here it is there, you can see there's a considerable difference in size, but they sit really beautifully together. So let's go back to the set as the A6 collection, and you'll see. So originally there were 10 of these A6 flower sets. Hang on a minute. I'll just put this in here. You don't need to see me fumbling around while I say this. So there were 10 A6 sets, and if you've got a pencil or a pen, I did write down the product code just in case you're interested. You will be once you see the samples. So the 10 A6 sets is 12097, and there's a really big savings on the bundle. Of course, they're available individually, and they'll all be in that area. So the A6 sets, the code is 12097. So that's what we're looking at the moment, you see. This is it, yeah. So this one here, for example, is this little one here. When you check it, I just pulled this one out to show you. You can see that this little here, that's the little vase of flowers that's on that one. So you can see, if we look here, there is the A6 set. Let's come over like that so you can see it. There's a little bunch, there's a little vase of flowers there, which is in here. But here it's already combined with love and a box. Really nice to use. So that's the merits of the sampler. It's all ready to go. And then here you've got your beautiful large stamps. These are A7. Now the A7 ones, they're the same size as that free sampler. So small, beautiful. I love this one. So there are 10 of those as well. 10 of these smaller ones. And the product code, if you're interested in the A7 bundle, is 12096. 12096. That's 12097 for the big ones, the A6s, and 12096 for the small ones. And now what we've done is we've taken all these beautiful designs of Tina's and we've turned them into 24 tiles, and we've taken a little bit of that and a little bit of that and we've moshed it up. So it's very definitely the same artwork, but it works really beautifully alongside or independently. It's up to you. And as if that weren't great enough, just before we move on to take a look at the samples, I just want to pop this down here so that I know where to look for it when I want it again in a moment. We cater to all skill sets, and of course we've got our Groovy plates as well. So we took the same designs and we turned them into, let me come out a little bit so you can see it better. We turned them into two, oh, hello, other way. Right, we turned them into two, you can see here, I think I've gone out a bit too far now. A4 plates. There we are. So you can see these are just perfect, ready to go. Got the frames around them, absolutely ideal. There we are. And if you want to see them actually as they come, this is what they look like. So you can see for somebody starting out, what a fantastic gift this is. If you just look at the Groovy plates, you can see here, they're on your screen now. For those two plates, it's 21241. Now, the reason, let's take a look here, you save $24.98, which is the value of a beautiful Rainbow River designer parchment pad. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to actually use this in a demonstration later on with the stamps. So just in case you were thinking that parchment is only for parchers, you're so wrong. But so these are also available to you as Groovy plates, 2 A4 sets using that fabulous artwork, and they come complete with the Rainbow River parchment. So very lovely, and I'm just going to pop that over there. Just remind me if I'm looking for it that it's over there, would you? Thanks very much. Right, and then I thought, right, we've established where the art comes from those original sets. I've let you know that it's also available in Groovy format, which is lovely for the PTCs, for example. And then I thought, right, let's take a look at some samples, and then we'll take a look at some art. Then we'll do some demos. So if we take a look here, and I've specifically picked out a couple of pieces of artwork where you can see how the large and the small just work beautifully together. I love this piece of artwork. Let's see, is that Sonia? Yeah, Sonia Goodliff. Very lovely. And you can see how the two sizes work absolutely gloriously together. This is the Jane Telford one. Again, she's used the same stamp and she's used the tiles along the base the same tile actually. Very nice, isn't it? So you can see how they work using the larger stamps and the smaller stamps together. This is a gorgeous one from Linda Spencer. Again, she's made a frame with the larger stamp, the same stamp again, but she's used that little topper, the little centerpiece there. This is a great one from Dee. I love what she's done. She's used the larger stamp on the outside. She's torn a hole and then she's created a little topper on the inside of the card, like almost like a postage stamp. That's cool too, isn't it? This is a rather clever one. Deborah Wheeler, she's used the clouds in the background. Everybody seems to be going for this one, don't they? Well, if you're not going to get any other stamps, it looks to me like this is the fave. This one is called Brighten Your Day, Flowers by Tina Cox. There you go. If you haven't got the Brighten Your Day set, then maybe you need to look at it. So this is a gorgeous one again with the box masked off and the larger flowers in the background. And I love this one too. So this is a Sonia Goodliff special. She's used the box and then she's used the flowers, the larger flowers. Ah, okay. There you go. As if by magic, it's on the front of my set. See this bit? She's used it like a kind of, as if it's coming out of the box. Doesn't that look smashing? And then the happy birthday from the A6 set. So maybe you need both of those. And I'm telling you, actually, this is pure coincidence. I'm glad they're on the top because I haven't got a rifle through to look for them. But it's coincidence. So there you go, those two, Brighten Your Day flowers and Happy Birthday flowers. If you can't stretch to the entire collection, which I completely understand, then perhaps just get a couple of them. Right, back to the artwork. Let's take a look. So we've looked at these lovely ones. Let's take a look at a really nice. This is lovely. If I'm not mistaken, this is Sarah Brennan and mini makes, lots and lots of them. She's made a booklet. Let's take this, and she's just focused on the sampler, but you can see here she's used, this is my favorite, the film strip. I love that nested film strip, doodle, panel die, I think that's what it is. And she's used the companion paper, so she's done the same thing again and again, and then she's just taken the samplers and she's used them with different colors. So she's matched up the color of the ink with the color of the companion paper. Doesn't that look lovely? It's really lovely, Sarah. There you go. What a great little... There you are. She's a clever girl. She's going to be at the open days demonstrating, that's for sure. There we are. See? Abstract Squares Aperture Mat. No. So there you go. You can see how this has been made, but what a beautiful keepsake, isn't it? All tied up with a ribbon. Enjoy today. There you go. So that's a rather lovely set. They also look lovely when they're used with stencils in the background. I think that's rather beautiful. Dee Paramore, I love that. And then this is a Sheila Metzeler tiled. Yeah, that looks really great as well. This is another Sheila Metzeler. This is one of my favorite dies. Floral Flourish or Floral Forest. I think this is the forest one. Leaves Square Aperture Die. Oh, is it? My bad. It's the Leaves Square Aperture Die. So it's actually got an aperture in the middle. That's cool. I wonder if we've still got them in stock. I know we're running out of them. Sheila Metzeler, gorgeous. So you can see how these little tiles, they lend themselves beautiful to layering. Again, Sheila with the dies. And this one is a Jane Telford Japanese piece square aperture die. Doesn't that look lovely? So I'm figuring it out here. There I see a pattern. Literally, we've got these aperture dies and the boxes in the middle, the apertures in the middle. These, all of our mini makes, these little samplers sit absolutely beautifully inside there. And the thing about flowers, they're so good for so many reasons, whether it's birthday, the occasions are endless. Birthday, anniversary, wedding, you know, very, very popular. Flowers is probably Flowers and Butterflies. There you go. That's a smashing set. D. Paramore. I love this. This is, if you could feel it, you could feel that she's embossed it. There, you can see it on the back. It's embossed. There you go. There you go. So these are all raised like little panels. Lovely. 9 of them. Let's have a look. This is another lovely one. These nested framers look fantastic, don't they? This one I'm particularly drawn to. This is like divided up again. Isn't that so cool? Yeah, I really love this. So this is actually divided up again. Very clever indeed. This is a lovely one, mixed and matched. Deborah Wheeler, she's back off her jollies. So she's back in town. Hopefully I'll be hearing from her soon. Be nice to see her again. She's been away for a month. Where does the time go, eh? But you can see here how nice, look, as a set of 3 together. Doesn't that look just peach? And then if we go to a couple of little tiny ones, our mini makes now. Tina Morris, this is lovely. This is on one of our backdrop stamps. That's lovely. Deborah Wheeler, a little bit of decoupage there. She's cut and layered that. So it's very simple, but it's lovely. Well done. Yeah, very nicely done. This is a gorgeous one by Tina Morris. Love the colours. And again, these nested, it's this nested doodle die backgrounds, look. And then just stamped in the centre. And that one is a really lovely one. It's on that sampler set. I know, because I saw it and I thought, oh, I love that one. There. That one there. See? Cool. Little berries. Little berries. I was looking at our holly tree. We've got a holly tree outside the front door. I've got to show you. So I know I digress, but this you have to see to believe. I took a photograph of it this morning, so I couldn't believe it. Right, you ready? Check this out. So when does a holly tree look like this? When did a holly tree ever look like this? I'm blown away. We haven't done anything to it. We've just let it go to look for the sky. Check this out. Look at that. It's a real, I mean, the shape is absolutely insanely good. Look, and there's about, if that's the gate, there's got to be about 8 foot, and then it makes almost like a bower over the gate so the postman can still get through. Let me see if I can look at that. Isn't that something? It's full of berries, absolutely laden. Isn't that gorgeous? I know. I know. I just caught it before Grace. His bloody van. I know. There's a neighbour who will insist on parking, even though he lives opposite. He insists on parking his bloody van right outside our front door. And Grace gets to hear about it frequently because I'm often saying, there's his bloody van again. Right, so there you go. Yes, he's still parking it outside the front door, Grace. But whatever. These are highbrow problems, aren't they? Okay, so I'll take a break from the samples now, and maybe we'll come back to them because I would really like to. You didn't quite catch it; it popped up on the screen. Gracie, let me concentrate. I would really like to do some demonstrating. So one of the things that I did on Wednesday, I showed off this really, really lovely piece of artwork by Jane Telford, because I really thought this hit the spot. And what intrigued me was that you had these 9 boxes, and of course, each one of them would make a really great front of a card, wouldn't it? So you could take any one of these, look, and turn it into a centerpiece. Yeah. So I wanted to show you how we arrived. Just in case you didn't see the TV show, it's all about this stencil. And this stencil is exactly what was used to make these boxes. It's that easy, okay? I don't even have to do this demo. Everybody watching here should know exactly. I've used, well, I haven't, Jane did. I used a piece of stencil card and brushes, and I brushed through, and then I ended up with that. See? And then you just stamp your images into place. So now the stencil, this is what's of interest to us. I've put it on the screen now, just in case you don't have it in your stash. Okay. It's 00424 framework squares, a 7x7 stencil. We've got them in all sorts. We've got them with triangles and circles, and I think they're octagons, loads of different shapes, but they're absolutely super used like this. You know, they're framework stencils. So they're great for laying up. And I wanted to show you, I wanted to kind of explore this a little bit and show you how we're going to use the same stencil. So I'm going to use this one. This is a new one. Let's put this back in stock. I'm going to show you how to use the stencil to create this, okay, small one. And I did do, just bear with me a second, because I did a little bit of prep. Right, you want to put it in the middle of the card, don't you? So shout out to Jane. Thank you very much for that sample, Jane. What I'm going to do now is show you how I arrived at in the center. So it's easy enough. And what we're going to do is just use our 3.5 by 3.5 inch card like that. And we'll pop that in there like so. And we can see exactly where it's going to sit. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take a piece of copy paper, pink, so you can see the white, so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to pop that on there like so. And the way I'm lining it up is I'm just looking at these bits, because it's very easy to work out the center by just making sure that these four corners, you know, are pretty much in the middle. Right, there you go. So that's all lined up lovely. And then I'm going to take my low tack masking tape, which I'm always going on about, and I'm just going to pop that on there like so. So now it's in place. And now to protect, because obviously I want to protect all of this area, right? I can do it like this, and then I can cover up the whole stencil like this. Now, the other thing, just in case you can't, you've got the masking tape, but you haven't got the stencil. I'm going to show you. Stencil's great, right? We've done that. But the main thing with the stencil is this, right? If you use the stencil, I'm just about to unsell it. I'm not. I am. Right, watch. Now I'm reselling it, right? You need the stencil because this is a brilliant way to make 4 at the same time, or you make a panel, or you can make an individual one, or you make all 9, right? You could go diagonal. There are lots of things that you need this for, right? If you're going to do a single one, let's just say, and you haven't got the stencil, then the other trick is to just take the masking tape, friends, right? It will be a slightly different box, but there's no reason this won't work. And you're just going to take the masking tape. I bet this works. I just have a feeling in me waters, right? If I do this, and I just use the width of the masking tape like that, okay? I bet, right, I bet if I were to take a stamp, take a stamp, pick a stamp, any stamp, grey. Oh, okay. I'll take that one then, shall I? Yeah, I told you. And they sit in there as well, you see? It's a little bit tighter, but it works like a charm. So did I unsell it? No. but I gave you another option. So for the sake of argument, now I've done this little mini surgery, we're going to stick to this plan. So we've got our 3 colours, we've got our brushes, stencil brushes. Look at that lovely sun coming in. Isn't that nice? Where's that coming from? Over here. Right, and then I'm going to colour the background, and I'm going to use our Distress Oxides, right? So I did do this on, I'm not sure what can I use. I'm going to use Salty Ocean, Distress Oxides. We got these in stock. See, the great thing about these little tins and these little, it's like you get a really good taster set. Actually, I'm going to go with the spiced marmalade, or should I go with the mustard seed? Oh, decisions. That'll do. Right, yellow first. That's what I always say, because I don't want to make my brush contaminate my brush. Right, so now I'm just going to add a little bit of yellow, add a little bit of yellow. I tell you what, in for a penny. While we're here, just get rid of the ink. Right, bit of yellow on there. You've got 2 going now. Right, bit of yellow, bit of yellow. So we've got choices, haven't we? There you go. Mass production now. Cool. So I've done the yellow. The thing about having these little pads is, of course, which one should I go for? That you've got a really good selection of colours that you can then, I'm just going to get a blue brush. And then when you decide, like I really like I like the peacock feathers. I would use it all the time, that tealy colour. And then when you've got the tealy colour, you can always treat yourself to the larger one, see? Because then you're going to use it a lot more, and you'll probably be glad that you've got the larger. Yeah. So we're going to put a bit of that turquoise. Come on, let's use this one as well. And you know you can make little landscapes. You don't overthink it, but the brushes certainly help putting the colour into this box. Okay, so you got a bit of, yeah, and I'm holding the brush quite a long way down so that I can get the colour going nicely. Good, that's that. That's the blue one. All right, that'll do. And then we're going to go for the pink. Picked raspberry. Good. Thank you for this one, Jane. It's a very cool, because it shows you the different possibilities, you know. So we're just going to sweep that pink in there. And, you know, it goes without saying, the more you do this, the darker the colour. Yeah, and as you put the colours, you start to blend them, you'll see that as you overlap them, you get different blends, don't you? Let's see here, pink over yellow. Nice. So I've got 2 different boxes going here. That'll do. That works. One's using the low tack tape and one's using the stencil. And then, of course, I can, sure, I've got some sponges here. Take a spot on sponge, and then I can just sweep the colour in off the stencil and the paper, and it kind of crisps up the edge as well. So I've done that one, and we could probably just that's it, just blend in the colours a little bit on that one too. Right, so we've done that. One of the things I like about these as well is that you can put them back. So I think we've still got the tins in stock. So it says 4 to 6. So I've got 1, 4, 4. See, so I put the numbers on the back. So that's a set. That's a little set of mini Distress Oxides, those blues. And I've numbered them on the back of the tin. So that's 1. So these should all be 1. And then I put 1 to 3 there on the lid. and that's number 2, see? So I keep them all in. So if you're asking what set is the picked raspberries, it's the one with the spun sugar. They've put them all together in the same colour stream. So you got all the greens, all the oranges and reds. See, you got the pinks, you got the blues, you got the lilacs, and you got the neutrals. So I quite like the way they've done that. And I'm sure that we've got those in stock. Right, so we've done that with the stencil. Let me just bear with me a second. Yes. Okay. Right, so just taking you back to the main screen again, so you know what we're actually using here. I'm just going to take the masking tape off this one. All right, well, that looks good. Sorted. That's that one done. And then we've got this one as well. So let's just take all this off here. And we've got not one but 2 sorted, and 2 different ways to mark it. 2 different ways, one slightly smaller than the other one. Of course, you can always make that a bit bigger just by pulling the masking tape out over the edge a bit. So there are lots of options. There's never just one solution, is there? Now, once you've got these, then you can stamp into this. So if we now comes, right, the black archival, yes. We need a mega mount, yes. And we need some stamps. Now, let's have a look. Stamp away, Barbara. Let's have a look what we got. So we could use different stamps. I've got some fluff there. Let me just check which one I want to use. I'll take that one then. Let's try some different ones. Try a different one. So I'm just going to mount up here. Just let me, excuse my head. And I'm using the mega mount. There you go. And I'm banging the center, and I'm using the cross hatching on there. So let's just see. It's a new stamp. I haven't used this one. So I'm going to stamp it onto here, just to make sure that I know how much ink I need, whether the ink is good, the pressure's good, okay, all those things before I stamp onto this. Let's just check it out first. Looks good, I think. Let me just check. Oh yeah, so the ink pad's a good one. Nice and wet and juicy, black archival. And I'm going to just ink this up, and then we'll see where we can go. So to show you a little trick. So we'll lift this off. I think I'll put the green to the bottom. And I'm using the corners of the, there you go, just eyeball it. But I'm using the catches on the corners to get the center right. Right, so we've got 3 little vases. That reminds me, I was doing pottery yesterday. That looks pretty. Right, so there's that one. And then, well, let's just, that'll do. I don't have to do the same thing twice, do I? Right. But what I want to do is see how, so this one, let's check this out. I'm going to come in a bit closer, because this one I did weeks ago. This one I just did. So let's see what happens. It's all about taking out colour today. And I'm going to use our what are they called? Water brushes. There you go. Absolutely brilliant these are. You know, the quality of the ones that we sell, I have to say, are excellent. They're excellent. So I just need a little bit of blotting. I need a bit of a blotter, so I can either use that or a tissue. Tissues are good because there's a lot of tissue as well. See what I prefer. Let's see where we go. Now, the darker, the more dramatic, I should think. So I didn't do a great deal of depth here, but we'll give it a go, see what we got. So I've got a bit of water going now. So let's see if I lift this out now. Let's see if it works. Do you know what I need? I need a little puddle maker. That sounded disgusting. Right, I just need a mix mat I'm using. So it's like my little water dispenser. And I'm just going to take that up there. See, because I haven't got a lot of ink there, there's not a lot to take out, is there? Let's see what happens if we go over here. So bearing in mind, I did this weeks ago, literally weeks ago, before the show was cancelled because I was taken ill. That's how long ago. But you can see that this is a lot, right, it's a lot darker. So you can see how it's pulling out the colour already. But if I blot it, yeah, nice, look at that. So if I come in here, will I have pottery for our open days? I hope so, because the thing about the pottery is, Sally, the answer is yes, I hope so. The thing about the pottery is, until it's finished, it's not finished. So I've done it to, like, I've got it to bisque fired now, but now it needs the raku. If you're thinking about the birds, yesterday, and the trouble is, you know, takes a lot of stock to fill a kiln, and you don't want to waste kiln time, energy. But check this out as well. This is lovely. So in answer to your question, yes, I'm very optimistic, and I'm sure that I'll be able to get the raku going, and fire up the kiln one more time. I was making some pretty cool vases yesterday, so I'm hoping I managed to make. Well, I say I started. I'm saying I make. Joking. But you see how the water, look, in the flower, and this is so cool, right? This flower and this one here, I did this honestly weeks ago, and it takes the color. So you want to go dark and dramatic. Look, it takes the color out amazingly well. Let me just blot that. Look at that. I know. Brilliant. And with this one here, obviously, top tip, if you want it to jump, if you want it to really pop, then you've got to put quite a lot of depth into the background to start with. There you go. But having said that, it still works really well. Look, it's just a little bit more subtle. So, and you just let the water just soak up a little bit. Let's take these out. This is one of the ways, for example, if you wanted to reintroduce colour, you know, if you wanted to make this flower red, or it's a good way to take colour out before you put it back in. It's definitely a good way to do it on parchment. Doesn't that look lovely though? And then these little, look, I need to put it in my tea then. Right, here we go. Let's see what happens with these little forget-me-nots. I just want to just put a little bit of water in each one. So ask Sally, what is it that Sally is looking for with the pottery? Is there anything in particular that she would like to see? That's a good question. What is it that Sally's looking for when she comes to the open days? Well, I'm hoping that you're going to be at the open day, Sally. People are starting to come for their tickets now, which I'm really relieved about, because it's always a bit of a gamble, but I'm sure it'll be fine. It always is. There we are. See? Look at these little flowers coming out now. I know. I love this technique. And it's so easy to do. So relaxing and so easy to do. Isn't it? Look. And you just take the colour. Let the water soak in a little bit. There you go. And then blot it. Ah, isn't that lovely? Now, what about those leaves? I just want to think the leaves. And it's funny, you don't realise until it's like you suddenly see things in the designs, in Tina's designs, that you weren't even aware of before until you start doing this. It's like colouring in, I suppose. And then you start really observing the line art, don't you? And you realise, oh, look, there's a little stalk there. That would look nice white, wouldn't it? there's another one of those big blue, these things. That needs cleaning. So when you start to look, tell you what's made my day is how this works after all those weeks. Cool, huh? Right, so you can see now how you can, using distress oxides, you can lift the colour. This also works with normal distress inks, just in case you're wondering. So that's a nice trick. And it just looks really pretty, you know, for mini makes. It's perfect, isn't it? So let's just have a look at what I wanted to show you. Yeah, and the other thing is, when you've got those like so, if you want to, let me show you this. If I were to take this flower now, this is to do with colouring in the other way. So this is the same card, same stencil card, but this time let's go the other way, and let's take those little ink pads. Let's take the little ink pads and let's use them the other way. I just want to pan out so you can see what I'm actually doing here. So now, if I take a little bit of that blue, don't need much, and then I need, let me see, a little bit of that pink again. I'm going back in for the colours. I'm going to take those colours again, and I'm using a mix mat. This is they come, there are 2 in a pack, and they come with the water brushes, if I'm not mistaken. It's a really cool bundle, and you'll find, actually I'm going to use some of those. I'm going to use that one as well. Yeah, I'm using the peacocks. So I've got these 3 colours on here, let's say. I'm going to put a bit of white behind that now, because I think you'll find you can see, let me put some white behind this. That's a good idea, Greg. I'll just put the white behind that. There you go. So now you can see the colours, and I'm just going to show you how you can use these water brushes. Now let me just stay there. Bear with me a second. I'm pretty sure we've got this as a bundle. It's a yeah. There it is. Just bear with me a second, and you'll see this is just one second. I'm all over this. Right. Okay. Right. So here, what you get the mix mat. Grace will give you the link. You get the mix mat. You get a pair. So you get the oil one and you get the water one. And then you also get 6, not 1, but 6 of these water brushes. You get the short ones and the tall ones, and each of them have their own, if you can see this, they're not all the same. So you get fine ones, medium ones, and thick ones. So you get, these are absolutely excellent. And I'm just showing you now how to use them. I'm just using one, but I reckon you'll get the drift. And I'm just going to put a bit of water there. Look, just squish a bit of water out. And I think what I'll do is I'll just put these to one side. So I'm going to add a little bit of colour now. Let me see about, let's add a bit of colour to this. See, so because these are really lovely colours, right? So we started doing a little bit of this morning, actually. Now let's see, I'm going to use a paper towel just to take off the excess, okay? And I want to do this as well. I'm going to, if I call it a glaze, right, it's not a glaze per se, but I'm just going to add a little bit of water around the back. Like I want the background to be blue, right? But rather than going straight in with the stain, with the colour, I'm going to just add literally a little bit of water where I want the blue. So in watercolor speak, this is called a glaze. And then I'm going to take my colour. When I put the colour in, you see, see how it moves around? It's really nice. So you can take your ink pads, all your ink pads now can be used to stain or colour in your artwork too. And these little makes that we're doing here, these little, they can be lovely little masterpieces, really. Look, it's so pretty. So we've got a little bit of blue, just in case you're wondering. It works really nicely anyway. Okay. And then to clean that, I can just squeeze it a little bit like that on my paper towel. So that cleans that. So then let me go into the pink, and I'm just going to take a little bit of pink now for the flower. Okay. So I've got a bit of pink for the flower. And I can take a bit of the glaze again, a little bit of water. So what I'll do is I'll just put a little wash on the flower before I go in with the colour. And then the colour just moves much better when you do that. Okay. There you go. You put a bit of pink on there. These little ones like this, you don't probably need to use a glaze, but you'll find that on larger areas, especially like the sky, you'll be best served putting a tiny little bit of water down first, just to let it helps it move, right? The thinner the pigment, the better it will move. You see, so you just go between, if you don't want to flood it, but it's a little bit of water there like that. Okay. And then you can go in with your pink and just drop it in, and it just sits, it kind of, it puddles, and it's really nice to do actually. There you go, get a bit of shadow going. Nice, nice, nice. Right, let's have a look at this here with a bit of pink. Get rid of the excess water. So I'm just putting a little tiny, and it will run down there like so. And the stamped image, it's almost like a little gutter really. So you take a bit of pink like that. Then when you add the pink in there, it will just move for you. See, it stays. It kind of creates its own wall. There you go. Nice, eh? Nice. Then you just let it dry, or you can blot it. If you blot it, you're not going to get that intensity, but you can see it. Once you let it dry, you can go in and put shadows in, etc., 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 etc. There you go. So this is another one of those pink bubbles there. And if you've got too much ink in a certain space, you can always go and lift it. See, the brush kind of hoovers it up almost. Then you just redeposit it somewhere else. So you can take it off that area there and just drop it in there like that. There you go. And eventually, look, that's the only thing that's different there is that I've gone in, let's get rid of some of that pink. I've gone in with the turquoise, or the, what's it called? Peacock feathers. There you go. Take a bit of peacock feather colour like that. And I've gone into those flowers, but you'll find it's very easy and I find it fast. Not that it's a race, friends. I mean, the whole idea of these mini makes is for a little bit of a holiday for the head. I called it this morning or earlier on. It's a little bit of a holiday for the head, like a little bit of mental yoga. There you go. See, but it's nice. It's nice. There you go, a bit of yellow in the leaves maybe. But it looks nice because it looks watercoloured. So that's another reason to invest in these great little ink pads, because you've got a really lovely selection there. There you go. So that's it. And I'm just going to clean that off with a bit of water so that I don't make a mess. And then we can go on to another demo if you fancy it. I know that I've got one lined up for you. So if you've got time, I certainly have. There you go. Thank you for that, Jane, as well. Right. And what I want to do now is show you a little trick. Yeah. I'll show you a little trick. Now, let me get my bits together. I'll just pop that on there so you can have a look at that. I know, it's lovely. Take a look at that for a minute while I just get my act together. Okay, so this is what I wanted to do. If you, for example, treat yourself to these, yeah, I've just got to regroup a bit. If you treat yourself to these, then you receive the parchment, don't you? And I want to show you tomorrow. I'm not gonna go groovy on us here. That's for Louise to. I'm sure she'll show you how to use this, but I want to show you as a stamper how designer parchment works really brilliantly using the same stuff, the same stash as you've got anyway. So what I want to do is show you. Okay. So I took a piece of the designer parchment. This is what I did between the shack this morning and now. I took a piece of the designer parchment I took a piece from Indian Summer, and then I thought, no, hang on a minute. They're not getting Indian Summer, they're getting Rainbow River. So if you're going to do it with what they're going to receive as a gift. So what I did was I cut up Rainbow River into 4 equal 4 and 4 by 4s. Remember, we're on the mini makes trail. And I did the same thing with Indian Summer. Okay. And then I stamped into the center. And I'm going to show you now what we are going to do, how we do this, and what the benefits are of this. Many of you will be familiar, many of you won't. And when you get this particular color, because it's quite vibrant, right? The light ones, you think, yeah, safe and pretty. The dark ones, you think, whoa, what am I doing with these? So I want to show you. Now, when you look at designer parchment, you've got a kind of a dull side, and then you've got a shiny side. The shiny side, even on the, look, dull, shiny. What that means is that regardless of, and even plain coloured parchment, the brilliant thing, I think people often, they don't understand the designer parchment. Traditional parchers don't get it. The thing about the designer parchment is it comes flooded on one side, same as the pink and blue, all the other parchment, but it's only flooded on one side. So the front is the dull and the ink, the print is on the back, which is the shiny side. Now, when you're stamping, you can stamp on the front or the back, but I'm going to show you a trick which requires you to stamp on the front. Okay. So if let's take a piece of this. Let's take a nice, let's have a look. Take any one of these. This would be easy. Let's go with this one. Okay. Let's go with this one, and let's pick a different. We've had a look at that one. Let's check out this one. I'm going to go with this particular stamp now, and I'm going to stamp it onto the dull side of the parchment. Okay, I'm going to keep it in the middle. That'll do. Right, so that's the shiny side. This is the dull side. Okay. And I'm going to stamp it into the center. What's handy is this is 4 by 4. This is 4 by 4, the mega mount. So if I offer it up to the center, it's going to be in the middle. I'm going to trim it back a little bit anyway, but that's definitely right. Now, let me give you a couple of little tips. First of all, a little tiny bit of talcum powder stops it sliding around, or French chalk, or baby powder, whatever you want to call it nowadays. Okay, so we're going to just add a little tiny bit of onto the parchment, to the front of the parchment, a little bit of baby powder, only so that, or French chalk, so that the stamp has got a little bit of purchase when it, a little bit of like tread. It's got a tooth, as Dave would say. Right. So I'm going to use black archival ink on here. Okay. Same as we did before. Black archival. I'm just going to ink this up. I'll show you a couple of tricks. So we'll ink this up, and then we'll see if we get a good impression. Okay, no sweat. That'll do. Into the center and press. Right. So we're stamping, just to reiterate, we're stamping on the dull side, not on the glossy side. That's important. Okay, cool. This you can do with any parchment, any coloured parchment. You see where you can see where the translucency is absolutely glorious. There you go. Beautiful. Let's pretend, right, I've done a nice job, but let's pretend you stamped it and it didn't stamp very well, just for the sake of argument. I'm going to do it now so that it doesn't stamp very well, just a little bit like that. Okay, we've got a bit of talc. Right, we're going to do the same again, but I just want to show you a trick so that you don't waste your parchment. Right. So let's say you do this, I'm deliberately going to go wrong. So I do that and I haven't pressed very hard. I'll press on the outside like that. I've got a stamping platform. I'm doing that, doing this deliberately badly. Okay. So then when I stamp this, yeah, darn. And you know, it does happen. Certainly with, with stamping platforms, it often is the case because the pressure's in the wrong place. But let's say that happens and then you think, oh, blimey, that was the best bit and now I've spoilt it. So the trick, if you've got, this is rubbing alcohol or isopropyl alcohol, 70%, it doesn't matter, any isopropyl alcohol will do. And then what you're going to do is just take a piece of towel, okay? This is good to know, right? And it's also, the other thing is, let's say you don't want to wipe the whole thing away. Say you just got a little bit in, like it's a little bit wrong in one place. You just want to edit it. Then you can use a blending pen. But I'll show you how brilliant this is. If I take my isopropyl alcohol, I feel like I've got a bottle with a leak because every time I touch this, I get covered in this rubbing alcohol. But that's okay. I've got a pint of it. Right. So I'll take my rubbing alcohol and I'll rub over the back, or no, not the back, the front, right? Look, and it's let that dry, it will evaporate and it's completely back to let's go again. You've wiped it away. That's so worth knowing. And what I mean is, let's say you do something, this was fine, but say I've got a little bit there that a little bit of ink, or I've got a fingerprint or something, like you get a little blotch and you think, oh, really? A little bit of isopropyl alcohol on a blending pen, just rub it out and it will be gone. Okay, top tip. It really is a game changer, that tip, because it means that you don't waste good parchment, isn't it? Okay, so the next thing, now we've done that, we're going to let that dry. So to save some time, here's one I've already done. Okay, so it's the same thing, I've already done it, and this is the shiny side. No, that's the dull side, that's the shiny side. You can see, can't you? So I'll pop the shiny side down, and so that it doesn't move around while I'm working, I'm just going to tape it down so that will stay there now. And I can see exactly what I'm doing. So let's say this time I'm going to, how am I going to lift? I can't use water to lift the colour, but what I can use is the white eraser pencil. So many of you will be familiar with this trick, but there are always friends joining us who haven't seen this before. Remember I said that the ink is saturated on the back, right? So now, for example, I can take the ink out. Now this is really key. Let's say, for example, look, especially on this dark parchment, like this, in the dark area, because it's going to really make the flowers pop. But let's say, for example, I wanted to make this flower a light blue, let's just say, or a light pink. I couldn't get the colour. I'll come in a bit closer. No way could I get the colour in on the flower. Let me have a look. So this is my pencil. This is my eraser pencil rubber, R for rubber. They do have a shelf life, these, and when the blade blunts, I don't use it for my pencils anymore. It just gets relegated to the rubber team, B team, and then it works perfectly well. See, so now I'm going to come in here, and what you'll see is I've got choices now. I can leave it white. It's really actually very nice. So to make this, I've got choices. I can leave the flowers white, which looks really dramatic too, or I can colour them in. I can reintroduce colour, and the colour will actually work. What can I use? I could use perga colours. I could use perga liners. I could. It's up to you. But see where you can barely see that flower. But as soon as I take the colour out of this particular, look, it looks so good when it's done. Okay. And if you can see it. I mean, on black parchment, you might struggle. But on most of these coloured parchments, the other thing is, and you don't often catch me saying this, but a light wave is a piece of deluxe kit that helps a lot because of the translucent nature of the parchment. If you're not sure, then a light wave is like an underlighter, and that works really well. But you can see here how, just go around and you can clean out the flowers. Let's just take a look here, and then you can see on the front, look, brilliant. Doesn't it look lovely? And it takes out enough colour for you to then be able to either leave it as it is, which looks really classy because it has a kind of a shadow, right? Or you can reintroduce a different colour, which looks pretty sharp as well. So now I'm just taking out these. I've left a bit of a shadow on these petals. See what it looks like when you turn it over. See what it looks like when you turn it over and put it on white. Because this is on pink. Let's see. Yeah, it's just lighter. No, it's so nice. And you see you've stamped on the front, but you've taken the ink out at the back. The reason you stamp on the front, let me tell you this erases ink. You'll only do it on the wrong side once. If I were to try and get the colour out here, all I would succeed in doing on the front is rubbing out the line art. So it's the shiny side where the colour, the colour of the parchment is saturated, and that's the side that you're going to take the colour out of. Okay, there you go. And if you did, it's getting close to Christmas. If you wanted to treat yourself, or somebody says to you, what do you want for Christmas? Maybe you haven't got a light wave. Maybe you want a light wave. Let's just see, humour me here. I've got one down here. I've always got one handy. And you'll find most parchers, to be honest, they've always got one on their cupboard. They don't even, just pull that out a bit. They don't even put it away. It's just somewhere buried underneath their work. But if I be aware that it might get a bit bright now. Let's have a look. Oh, it's gone off. And up it comes again. So now let's pull in a little bit, and then we can really see exactly, we can see exactly what we're looking at now, can't we? And I can now make sure I'm on the right side. Hold on. Sorry, that's a little bit bright. Just want to make sure I'm on the shiny side. Yeah. See, and I can take out all the colour now, and I can see exactly where the flower is. I can see exactly which piece I want to eliminate. Isn't that nice though? There you go. So a light wave works for many, many reasons, not least this job. It just takes out the colour beautifully. But it leaves the the ink in place because the ink's on that side. And one of the other things worth noting is when you're working with parchment, because it's translucent, it's fantastic for when you want to do reflections, you know, hearts and hearts, whether you stamp on that side or that side. I could do a reflection of something by stamping on with the same stamp on the front with the stamp, flip it, and then on the back with the same stamp. And of course, you're going to get a reflection, you know, like dippy toe lady at the top, turn around, dippy toe lady underneath, you've got your flip. If you stayed on the same side, you should be facing the wrong way. So that's a really cool thing to do as well. And then I did, so that's cool. Let me just put this to one side because I wanted to show you, what else did I do? Oh yeah. So then there's a kind of a connection between, because I don't have a lot of groovy stuff in here, but I always have a starter kit because even if you don't do a lot of groovy, a starter kit really has got everything in it that you need. And so what I did was, because two things I really like is white work, obviously. So I've done white work now with an eraser pencil. So you could do the white work in the same way with the embossing pen, right, with the embossing tools. But I've always loved grid work. So I really like dots, lots of them. And the grids give me those dots, just simple patterns. So I can show you, we don't have to do it. I can show you though. Louise is the expert. Paul, they're much better at this than me. I can't do it all, but I can do this. I'll show you, if I show you what I used and how it worked, then you'll get it. So for example, panning out again, it's just to kind of make the connection between the two schools, really, the two disciplines. So I've got in my starter kit, I've got my my nested square, haven't I? Right, so I've got that. So where's that picture that I just did? So you can see why a light wave would be really handy because I'm working with really dark. And if I work on, so I can see exactly where it is if I've got the light wave underneath. I'm just making the connection for you. So if I put that down there, right, and then I'll move this across like that, just so that you see how much easier it is to see. So if I turn this on now, oh, go on, up you go. Hey, right, so now I can see right through and I can see where the box is, right? Do you see what I mean? So if I want to, let me make sure I'm on the right side because I need to be on the shiny side when I'm doing this. See, simple white work now will really make this pop. So I need to make sure I'm on the shiny side, so I'm not affecting the. Well, look, that's habit, isn't it? Oh, hang on a minute. Let me get my groovy tabs. Other hat, Barbara. Other hat. So I'm going to get my groovy tabs. All right. You see, and I'm just looking at the box, the stamped box on the inside, and I'm just making it sit inside one of the nested squares. And it makes it so much easier because I could see through the parchment. And I've deliberately picked a dark piece of parchment so that you understand. Otherwise, it's a bit of a challenge. It's all I'm doing is just giving you a couple of pointers. So I need my tumble dryer sheet in my starter kit, and I just rub that. But of course, the stamped image is on the other side, so I'm not affecting that at all. I don't know that that would affect it, but I wouldn't want to risk it. And then I've got in my starter kit, I've got my number 1 and my number 2 tool. So what I want to do now, I've got choices. I can, is this around the right way? Yeah. So I'm going to concentrate now. Here we go. So I'm just going to take I'm using my number 2 and now I'm going back with my number 1 to make it crisper. Yeah. And tomorrow at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Louise will be putting these Groovy plates through their paces. So that'll be fun to watch. I look forward to that. And if I wanted to, see, let me see, I wonder if I could just pop that little, I think I can. Yes. I see, you know, this is the whole purpose of mini makes. This is the whole purpose of Groovy. It's that mindfulness. As soon as you do this, oh, it's just so relaxing. Oh, I could put another little box in there. Well, why don't I? Shall we? I don't know. I don't want to overcook it. But I can see there's a little box and it's exactly. Oh, come on, Barbara. Let's just see. Let's just see what happens. What if I go inside the pattern as well? This might be a bit rubbish now, but I couldn't help it. I couldn't help myself. I had to see what it looks like. And let's see. So now I've done that one, and that one. Okay, I'm going to turn that off so that you don't get a shock in a minute when I... quite nice. Quite nice. Love. Okay, let me take that away. See, I couldn't have really seen what I was doing if I hadn't had the... Yes, it's got legs. It's got legs. See? So I've got these boxes, and because I've got the black here, but I've gone in on the white as well. So I'm using the nested. You can see exactly. But the interesting thing is just how well it sits in there. Look, it sits in there really well. So now I could take some colour. I really like this. And then the other, see what I did earlier on, I got carried away, and I just love doing this, is I used the grids. See? So I just wanted to show you. I got carried away, and interesting, I used the straight grid on the wonk. I used a straight grid at a 45-degree angle, and it looks like I've used the diagonal, but I didn't. I used the straight. I learned that from Linda Williams, and perhaps if I ask her nicely, Louise will show you how to get this pattern tomorrow. It's really, really easy. It literally is, you use the starter kit, and then you use the large, well, I use an A5 square grid. So I've got my square one, and I've got my diagonal one. These are just the bold ones. Good news, you will be delighted, you Parchers, right? We've actually put in an order to get the superfine ones made. It's a bit pricey, but different ball game for now. And actually, I think these work really well. There's still thousands of holes drilled into this, but what we do is, you see, what we do is we take our starter kit. There we go. I'm going to use my black mat because I can show you on a black mat. From the starter kit, I'm going to use my square, my grid like that, and then I'm working from the back again. Oh, Jim. I'm working from the back again, right? But you can see immediately. So if I work from the back, let's say like that, and it's square, it's going to be straight. If I turn it 45 degrees, that's when I get these smashing patterns like that. And now I definitely need my light wave underneath to be able to see the holes. And I just to prove a point, but then I'll get off the phone because we've got a bit of a situation with the blog. It's nothing sinister, but I know why Jim's trying to get hold of me. Right. So you can see if I turn this, let me turn this on, and then you'll be able to see. Right, so it goes on bright, and now immediately, let me get on the right side. That's it, shiny side. 45 degrees. I tell you what I found personally, I found it easiest for lining up if I use the two dots there. If I want to get into there, if I use the dots like that, I can see the patterns there, and it's just a question of getting the dots in the right place and then getting your eye in, and as soon as you can see the diamonds all the way along there, my eyes aren't, let me just have a look here. That's like that. I just need to, you need to do this really calmly, okay? And it's, you've got your diamond, right? So if I want to use, just bear with me a second, because I've got to get the angle right for this to work. And because I want it to be straight, obviously. And once I've got the one diamond in, there, like that. There you go. I reckon that'll do it. Where's my thingy? See? I feel like I want to show you, but I also know I've got to get on the phone. Right, so now if I put my, let me just use that for a minute. That'll do. Right. So now I've got my diamonds here, but I'm not sure. Let me just make sure that they're in the right place, so they're not suddenly going off at an angle. See? I think it's right. Because once you commit, you're committed, aren't you? You know what I mean? But I think that that will work. So then number 2 tool, and then let's just put one diamond in, and you'll get the angle. So if that's the diamond there, like that, one diamond, then I'm going to put the next diamond in, like that. Slowly does it. See, I'm on the wonk. I can feel that I'm on. I knew I would. Right. So then you're going to come over like that. There's the diamonds, like that. It's all right. There you go. See, the good news is I can see them. There you go. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then over again. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're wonky. But that's all right. I can live with this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. See? Now I'll show you. When I turn this over, what you'll see is there. Let me turn this off. Okay. Turn that out of the way. And then you can see the diamond. See? Oh, it's coming a bit closer. See, I love those patterns there, like that. So I've got to realign them and get them going again. But I'd like to make a whole row of those. See, I love that. I love that look. And I want to go all the way around like that. I don't want to fill it. I didn't like that so much. I prefer that. So that's what I'm going to do all the way around. And the way to do it is to get the straight grid, but at a 45-degree angle. There you go. And thus endeth this particular demo. And so that's it really from me. I wanted to show you those beautiful stamps. I wanted to show you how you can stamp onto parchment and take out the color, which works really well. I want to show you that parchment, there is a kind of an overlap between the white work and the grids and all those things and the stamps, you know, whether it's stamped or printed work on parchment works fantastic. There is this massive overlap. When you're working with dark parchment, then a light wave is a very, very good thing to have. And other than that, we'll start a kit clearly. What else I want to show you? I just want to go back to that lovely set of stamps. Now, where did I throw them? Oh, here they are. And then I'm going to call it a day, my friends. So you can see on the screen, 12192 is that beautiful set of stamps. Oh, that's up close. Let's pan out a little bit, said the cameraman. Right. So you can see here, you've got these wonderful stamps. There are 24 in total. You also received this lovely little set as a gift. And the code is 12192, 29.98, and you save £7.50 plus, of course, your club discount. So if you're not in the club, make sure that you are before you place your order. And other than that, I shall love you and leave you. I hope you enjoyed our Mini Makes Monday, and I will see you again on Friday morning at 10 o'clock for the highlight of our birthday bash, which has been going on all September. So we've saved the best till last. Okay, have a great day. Enjoy your creative your creativity. Just make something. And if you do get that anxiety or that panic, or you got to know this: you're not alone. Okay, and two, get with your hands. It works. It really does. It really does. Okay, don't watch the news. Go and make a card. Lots of love. Gracie, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.